I am your host, FatDag, and you're listening to WhysAdvice. My weight loss journey failed when I focused on how. It wasn't until I switched my focus to why that I truly transformed myself. Join the show on the web at FatDag.com and follow along on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all at WhysAdvice. Send in your comments, your questions, and your celebrations. I'll include them as part of the show. But before we dive in, remember, when you're out of points, stop eating points. Hey, I'm honored to be your wingman as we walk through this journey together because I believe in you. Hello, welcome to episode 111 of WhysAdvice. And I kind of want to open the show today with an attendance goal story that happened to me today. I woke up this morning kind of on fire, really needing to get out and get a nice long run in as well. And so, after, laying in bed for a couple of minutes, I'm like, yeah, it's time to go. So I got up and I got my, my gear on and I grabbed my watch and I started out going for a run. And for those of you who saw it on Connect and on Facebook, my Garmin watch actually has a live track feature, which I really love. So you can track me as I'm running. It syncs into my phone and you can tell exactly what speed I'm going at, what direction I'm going at. And it's kind of fun for me because as I'm running, I know there are probably people watching and I'm like, oh, I can't stop because if I stop, they'll wonder what's going on. So I'm running out here, set out to run about 8, maybe 10 miles. I figured I'd make that decision somewhere in the middle of the course. And so I just took off running. At the same time, had my Nokia watch going because I like the Nokia to give me the step count. So I have both these watches. So here I am, crazy running guy with 2 watches. That's what I do. And I get out to the track and I get out and it was midday. It was around noon before I finally got out for the day. And boy, was it hotter than I expected. So 3, 4, 5 miles into it, I all of a sudden I was just like, it's like, man, the heat's getting to me. The course I run on doesn't have a ton of water. I didn't do a great job preparing with my water. So at 5.5 miles, I was just done. I was sitting there and I wanted to do 8, maybe 10 was kind of the performance goal that I'd set today. But at 5 miles, I said, you know what? A 5-mile run, still pretty just good, So absolutely just said, you know what, Al, I'm gonna stop at 5 miles. I stopped at one of the rest areas on the trail, went in, got some water, stretched my legs for a little bit, and then I turned the watches off and I ended up running a little bit back home, maybe another 1.5 miles I ran. So I got about a 6.5, 7 mile run in today, and man, it felt great. But the coolest part of all was that I didn't care about the time. I didn't care about the distance. The fact that I was out there running and I got an attendance goal complete, that was the best feeling for me. It was that I said, hey, I'm ready just to get this done attendance-wise. So that was kind of the fun part. So what I want you to do is I want you to take from that, and I want you to know that the only reason I went out and ran today is because I have this attendance goal motto is I just want to I want to get out and run often. And so I've developed a healthy habit by doing something daily. And now, as I step up the distance, my body starts craving to do some sort of exercise. So you can't go out and run 5 miles once and just call it done. You have to kind of find a way where you can work up to that. And if you're starting out and you're on just walking, and you're walking, at a 2 miles an hour, which is exactly what I did when I started, and I just walked just slowly. And then slowly and slowly, I kept picking up the pace. And so I truly credit my ability to run today to the fact that for the first 3 or 4 months of my journey, I just simply walked daily. Nothing more. I just every day want to do something. So I've now developed the habit of, hey, I actually work out all the time now. So that is what I mean by attendance goals. At some point, you can then increase them and develop some performance goals as long as you fall back on the attendance. Got a treat for you here. This treat comes in as kind of a musical treat from Tennessee. Elise writes in, and we talked about Elise the other day on the show. I gave her a shout out. She was 25 pounds down. And so she writes in, and the first line is she sings it in her email, and it says, "Dear FatDag, get ready to sing with me." And it goes, "Whoa, we're halfway there, whoa." But I'm not living on a prayer or even on hope. I'm definitely not living on luck. I'm living on this plan, and I'm rocking it. I've been on the Weight Watcher program since May 12th, and I started at 180 100.8 pounds. To date, I've lost 25 pounds. I have 25 pounds to go until I'll be able to really determine what my goal weight should be because, well, let's face it, I've never been 130 pounds during my adult life, and so I have no idea what that looks like. Goal is probably somewhere around there, so I'm just going to keep working the program until I hit my goal feeling. One morning, I'll walk past the mirror on the way to my scale and I'll say, you know what, whatever this number is, this is it. I am done losing weight. I'm only 5'3", so this first 25 pounds has changed my body and appearance a lot. More importantly, these 25 pounds have changed my heart and my attitude towards myself. You challenged each of us to find our why. When I first started the program, this seemed like a daunting task, so I started the 100 Days of Why Challenge. I committed to write down a reason why I wanted to lose weight every day for 100 days. The first several days were easy. I want to feel like I belong in the military. I want to feel like the wife my handsome husband deserves. I want to feel confident when I shop for clothes. I want to be a strong example for my patients. On day 9, I wrote down that I want to be successful on this program because my weight is the only thing holding me back from feeling like my own ideal woman. After that, I stopped the 100 Days of Why Challenge. Everything circled back to that central idea of wanting to live as my ideal self and never wanting to feel like I need to be more than what I am. I realized that. At 31, I wasn't living my life the way I really wanted to. I was giving up so much time being unhappy with myself. Every day when I looked in the mirror, I did not see a great wife, a young physician, or a member of the United States Air Force Reserve. I just saw my weight. Since joining the program, I've learned so much about what self-care really means. It doesn't mean that I deserve a cookie or an extra glass of wine at the end of a hard day. It means that I deserve to be on a plan so I can give myself the healthy body that I really want. It means that I donate the clothes that no longer fit so that I can never, ever wear them again. It means that I ask people to take pictures of me and my husband because I want to remember this journey. At this halfway point, I've been on the plan for just over 100 days. It's no longer new and exciting. It's becoming reflective and automatic. I'm always worried that complacency and old bad habits will start to sneak back in. How did you make the shift from new challenge to lifestyle while you're in the weight loss phase of your plan? Was there a single moment that defined this change for you, or was it simply gradual? Thank you for being my wingman. Your podcast and support have meant more to me than I can express. WhysAdvice has made it easy to hit the reset button in the middle of a hard day. You are absolutely living your mantra of be the prize, and you inspire me every day. Elise out of Tennessee. Well, Elise, thanks for the sing-along at the beginning, and I'm sure we lost half of the listeners as soon as I started singing that we're halfway there, but I have to kind of get it out. That was just kind of the line. You're halfway there. You're halfway to goal. And I love what you said in the middle of your email is that you will know when you get there because goal truly is a feeling. And that goal feeling is what we're all after. And so as you wrote down your 100 Days of Whys, and I tried doing that in my head, I just knew I wasn't able to kind of commit to 100 days of anything. It's very difficult to do that. Trying to come up with something new every day, I knew was going to be difficult. And then I knew if they were truly my why, I wouldn't be able to remember all 100 of them. So I knew that wasn't going to be my true why. I had to find the one or two things in that entire list and really iron them out and say, this is my why. You did that on day 9, and I'm very proud of you. And that's exactly what you have to do is find that why and dig into it. Now that why got you down 25 pounds. It's also the same why that's going to carry you to goal. You're working the plan exactly how I think you ought to work it. You're taking it one day at a time. You've changed your heart and you've changed your attitude toward yourself. There's something really amazing that happens when you lose 10 pounds, 15 pounds. You get to the point where you say, hey, I can do this. And I start the journey believing in you. And somewhere in the middle, you start believing in yourself. And when you change your attitude toward yourself, that's where the mindset and the belief starts coming. Now, what I want you to do is exactly what you're continue doing is I want you to cement that feeling in that, changing your heart and changing your attitude toward yourself, you really have to cement it in. To do that, you have to get rid of clothes that are just a half a size too big. You got to put things on that make you feel like a completely new person, and you got to experience everything that you're experiencing in life and love every second of it. You're doing a fantastic job on that because, it's really fun now that you're asking people to, take pictures and because you want to remember the entire journey. What's going to be awesome is when you get to goal and we celebrate together, what I'll tell you is as you ask, how did I make the complete shift from new challenge to lifestyle? And, I didn't make it at my halfway point. So what I'm asking you at this point to do is just continue to believe in yourself, continue to believe that you can get there. You're at a point now where every new number on the scale is a new number to your entire journey. They're numbers that you haven't seen before. So every morning you wake up and you get completely surprised and you're completely happy, and that feeling continues to grow. The best part of this journey for me was not 263 down to 199. The best part of this journey for me was 199 down to 172 and then back to 185 as I added muscle to my body. Because at that point, I am a completely different person than I've ever been. Now, to make this shift, what you have to do is you have to sit there and you have to really, truly develop good, healthy habits. You have to truly make a change in your life. If you want something different in your life, you have to actually do something different. You actually have to be somebody different. And I'm not saying personality-wise, I'm saying in your behavior. And so it's why we set attendance goals. It's why we say, I want you to track everything. I want to educate you on how to eat properly. It's why I say you can have whatever you want, but what I want you to want is being healthy and happy. And if you start choosing that more often, you will completely change your eating behavior and rather than suppressing it. I think a lot of us, and myself included, when I would falter, it was because I was suppressing bad behavior. So instead of saying I'm going to figure out a way to work pizza into my plan and work it in, occasionally, what I did was I said I could never have it until I get to goal. And then when I got to goal, I didn't know how to work it in properly, and I kind of gave up because I felt good, and you could eat a whole pizza or two and not gain all the weight back, but you don't learn how to handle that food addiction along the way. So as you're changing your behavior, I want you to look for things that you absolutely can't live without, and I want you to figure out a way to work them in. And then I also want you to dig deep and find some things that you actually can live without. And those are the ones that you shed because you're developing this healthy lifestyle that'll get you to goal for 25 pounds from now. Elise, again, I said it the other night. I'll say it again now. Truly, truly my honor to walk this journey with you. Some of the stuff I know about you, you're an amazing woman. You're an amazingly accomplished. The things that you've done in your life already, pale in comparison to this journey. If you've done all the things that I know you've done, this is the time to take care of you and take care of your life and get that done. Congratulations. And again, honored to be your wingman. Linda writes in and says, "Hello there, wingman. I'm an online-only member, no meetings in my area that I can attend due to my work schedule. I joined in January 2016 with the goal of losing 102 pounds, which seemed so far away that it was overwhelming. I needed to find my why to move forward, and I had never really heard of that before in a meaningful way, so thank you. The first time I listened to your podcast, I was skeptical, and I thought of you calling yourself our wingman was just a catchy phrase you were using, but now I believe it truly is how you see yourself and how I and so many others have come to see you as well. I've realized over time just how valuable, well, more than valuable, how necessary having positive feedback and constant urging on is to the journey we are on. We all have so many negative voices in our heads shouting at us, reminding us of our past failures, that to have someone who is daily conquering the scale cheering us on is awesome. Well, when I get discouraged about my progress, I remind myself, you didn't lose 45 pounds on accident. Thank you for that saying over and over. Thank you for reminding us that we all walk this walk at our own pace. I cannot compare my weight loss, or lack of it some weeks, to yours or anyone else's. Thank you for bringing up the point more than once that even if we only, as some people say, lose a half to 1 pound a week, that's still 25 to 52 pounds a year. That is an amazing thing when you think about it. I have not lost as much as I would have liked, but truth be told, I've not worked for it as much as I could have. I've gotten distracted along the way, and early in the summer, I took a break from Weight Watchers thinking another way may be a better fit for me. Because I saw a friend have great success with it. Well, it turns out it wasn't. Again, I cannot compare my journey to anyone else's. That is a dangerous trap. I think a lot of folks who get discouraged do so because they fall prey to advertising and false messages of the world that weight loss can be a quick fix. It's a once and done situation. I know that is part of the reason I've taken so long to get to this point. I just feel some days like I will never get there. But I actually know that I will. I know that it's not going to end for me when I reach goal. The reality is, for most of us, this is going to be a forever lifestyle if we want to maintain. Will everyone need to be laser focused as you are in the beginning? Will everyone need to be as laser focused as you were in the beginning? Well, maybe not, but we will always have to be aware and conscious of what we put into our mouths if we don't want to see it on our hips. I just want to say thank you. Thank you for the encouragement, the helpful information, and continuing to go forward. Keep up the great work you do, and thank you to the Connect family who is so encouraging to me on a daily basis. It's great to have a place to celebrate or to vent, and you know you will be accepted. Kindest regards, Linda. Linda, absolutely. The Connect community is what got me to goal. I think the Connect community is responsible for many of us recently getting to goal, because for the first time, there's a social media network that we can reach out in that doesn't become a highlight reel, like Facebook and Instagram do. So you can put everything you can, and it's that private community where you're able to share everything you need to share and get the true help that you need without fear of judgment. Much of what I posted on Connect, I would never have put on Facebook. I'm at a point now where I don't mind, but during the journey, I couldn't at all handle the possibility that somebody would reject me if I put it on a social network that was out for the public. So rather than doing that, I just kind of tried to figure this out on my own, and I couldn't do it. That's why I want to be your wingman. And, and I understand exactly what you're saying. I get a lot of folks that email me in and say same thing. I saw your name on Connect. I saw it along, and I didn't really want to listen to the podcast, and I did, and wow, it actually was not what I was expecting. So I understand that mindset, and I'm glad you came around. I'm glad you tuned in. I understand when you started your journey, 102 pounds, it seems so far away. It's why when we start these plans, we don't say, we don't tell you when you start your goal to lose 102 pounds and let me know when you're done. We want to kind of just say, hey, why don't you just start tracking? Why don't you just follow the plan? Let's shoot for a 5% goal. Let's see how that works. And let's shoot for a 10% goal. Let's see how that works. If you get to 10%, you've now proven that you can do it. If you now, if you want to say all of a sudden continue working the plan at 10%, you can eventually get down that 102 pounds. You got to break it off into smaller chunks, and you absolutely can do this. So over time, this positive feedback thing, it's actually is valuable. The world has so many different things. You can go anywhere you want and get negativity, but you got to seek out the positive side. And when you do that, when you seek out things that are positive, what you'll start noticing is as you've trained your brain to look for the positive, you continue to find more and more positive. It goes back to that law of attraction thing, is whatever you seek, more of it comes forward. So if you want to live your life in a negative light, you will continue to surround yourself with negative people. And then all day long, you'll find the negativity in life, and that will keep you from reaching your goals, regardless of what they are. So what I try and do is I try and find people who are helping me on my journey, people who support me, people who are positive. There's plenty to be negative about, but there's so much more to be positive about. And so when you find the right network, when you find the right people, and everybody is positive, you feel like a winner. And when you surround yourself with winners and you feel like a winner, you become a winner. There's an old saying out there that I don't have exactly memorized, but you're the sum of the 5 closest people you hang around. So if you hang around 5 people who are all very negative, you're going to fit right in. Find a new group if that's what it takes. And that's what Connect does for us. Connect gives us the ability to work with people who are actually in a positive mindset so that we can work together to get it done. And you're absolutely right. You can't compare your journey to someone else's. You got to, as you're working your positivity, as you're being thankful for everything you have, be thankful that you're still working the journey and making progress forward, and your trend line is going forward. You will truly change your life when you get there. No, it's not a quick fix. We're asking you to completely change your life. We're asking you to abandon an eating behavior that you learned shortly, most of us shortly after high school, maybe even sooner, but you learned an eating behavior on your own that we're now asking you to kind of abandon, modify, make some significant changes to so that you can get to goal. You absolutely can get there, and that is when you get a chance to celebrate. Again, the reality is this is going to be a forever lifestyle if you want to maintain it. I think that's why so many of us fall off the plan, is that we're not willing to completely change our life. We're trying to blend our old life with our new life when it comes to eating behavior. And if we don't make the true change, if we don't say, no, I'm not, then we have the danger of falling back. Linda, congratulations on your amazing accomplishment. You're doing fantastic work. You're very tuned in to what you need to do. If you stay focused, if you stay disciplined, you can get there. You absolutely can. I believe you can, and I want to hear it when you do. Thanks for your email. Dianne writes in at Naperville, Illinois, and says, "Hi, Mike. This is Dianne, Teller 59 on Connect, again from Naperville, Illinois. Podcast number 41, What Are Fit Points?" It was on May 3rd. This is both a celebration and a letter to update you too. First off, I would like to thank you so much for your Facebook live shows and for the podcast. I am there listening almost every night, and I'm taking notes. They have really kept me focused toward my goals. When I first wrote to you, I was down 109 pounds. In the last 2.5 months since then, I am down another 11, 120 pounds total, losing 5 pounds for the month of July. I haven't lost this much weight in a month in a long time. Last night, you asked me on the live show, podcast number 92, what it felt like to lose 120 pounds. Well, I have to tell you, it feels fantastic, amazing, and also I'm feeling very proud. I feel that I've really accomplished something in these 3 years that I've never been able to do and never been able to accomplish before. In the past, I've always given up on myself. It's always exciting to be able to buy clothes in sizes you have never worn before, and you just know they will fit. I just don't want to get too excited or comfortable or complacent because I have at least 25 pounds to go. I still struggle with trying to eat all of my daily points. I know it's all in my head. Every time I have more blue dots during the week, the more I lose at the scale. I know this, and I am working on it. I've been told for years you have to eat less and exercise. Well, for me, it wasn't eating less, it was eating healthy. This is what got me to the weight I was in the first place. I actually shut my metabolism down by not eating. And when I was hungry, I would eat carbs, processed food, crackers, chips, and bread. No exercise whatsoever because I couldn't move. I'm a couch potato. I was depressed, and I just hating myself for always failing to lose weight. My starting weight was 289 pounds. These past 2 months, I think I really discovered my why. I knew it was never going to be being obese, depressed, self-loathing person that I was, but I found it's also not to let life pass me by anymore. I have hid behind my weight for so long, and I thought I was not worth it. I let it stop me from doing so many things, going places, just living life. I felt invisible. I never thought I was good enough for anything. I have decided to start doing things out of my comfort zone. The hardest one for me so far was going to the Wheaton Connect meetup. I would never have gone in the past. I really kept talking myself out of it all that week. I am so glad that I went. I love meeting so many and listening to their journeys. I was even comfortable enough to tell mine. Meeting you and the others who were at goal was so inspiring. You all seem to be living happy, healthy lives. It makes me more determined to get to goal because now I believe I am worth it too. The attendance rule seems to be working for my workouts. I do believe it is becoming routine because I feel bad if I have to miss one. I'm also walking just about every day too, and I completed my first 5K walk on Mother's Day. I guess this turns out to be more of a celebration letter than an update. In closing, I just want to say thank you for all that you do in helping me believe in myself. You truly are a wingman. Dianne. And then she ends it with a PS. These letters are so out of my comfort zone too. I rewrote it 3 times and I almost didn't send it. So, Dianne, congratulations on your 120-pound weight loss. It's incredible. You got to think for just a second. 120 pounds is just mind-boggling. That's a level of commitment and focus that proves that if you do that, you can do anything you set your mind to. And again, we go back to cliches is people always say you can do whatever you want. If you put your mind to it, you can do it. You can be anything you want in the world. In order to have that level of success in any other area of your life, all it takes is just that you have to stay focused on your prize and get it done. This entire time, and you sit there and said, I want to lose weight. I want to get healthy. I want to be a different person. Down 120 pounds? Clearly, you've figured that part out. Clearly, you've found the discipline, the focus. And I absolutely love the part where you said it feels fantastic and amazing, which we know, but you're also feeling very proud. That's an amazing mind shift. You ought to be proud. I'm proud of you. I'm sure the entire community is proud of you. And the best part is that you're proud of yourself. When you become proud of yourself, what happens is you start that energy ticking in a different direction where you say, I did this. You're giving yourself the credit for all the hard work and the focus and discipline. And you're owning it because you can't do this accidentally. You cannot just accidentally lose 120 pounds, no matter how hard you try. You worked it all by yourself. You got it done and you found the right tools along the way to get there. Now let's work on your eating just a little bit. I understand you're still struggling to eat your 30 points. That is, a concern to some extent. 30 points is not a lot to begin with for a daily mindset, for a daily target. If you have 30 points, it means you're very close to your goal, which is great. I want you to come close to that. But if you're eating high protein, healthy, solid food, you're probably going to be okay around that number. But if you're then relying on your carbs and the processed foods and the chips and crackers like before, those 30 points go quickly. And so if you try and say, I want to eat less, and you're trying to use the gauge of quantity of food, and you're eating just a handful of things that are all, processed foods, high in carbs, and, crackers, chips, and bread, then you're going to be hungry all day just like you used to be. And that obviously makes you depressed, and it makes you hate yourself. So you've gotten away from that. Starting at 289, down 120 pounds, I can't even imagine. You must absolutely feel fantastic. It's a whole new world for you. You're getting it done. And, I understand the piece that for so long, what's now gone for you is you hid behind your weight for so long. You felt invisible. You never thought you were good enough. Well, you know what? You are good enough. You're absolutely good enough, and you are worth it. And I'm glad to see that you're believing it. Setting the attendance goal helps you get there. You can do this. Dianne, I'm honored to be your wingman as we walk this journey together. The fact that you wrote this letter in, being out of your comfort zone, rewriting it 3 times, and almost didn't send it. The fact that you sent it and it made it here, and that you're now listening to us as we talk about it, that tells me right now that anything you want for the rest of your life is doable. Congratulations. Great job on your 5K. And now continue to focus on eating healthy, living a healthy lifestyle that balances fitness, food, and fun. And, those of us, the Connect meetup in Wheaton was absolutely amazing. I ended up driving 3 hours just to go see the folks up there to see you guys, because it was just that important to me. And I knew there would be a whole bunch of people there who were at Lifetime. And those of us who were at Lifetime, I think I made the point there to say, my job at Lifetime is to tell you how wonderful it is and to show you how wonderful it is so that you know what you're fighting for. I want you to see just how amazing life can be when we're able to shed the demons and the burden of not feeling good enough and hating ourselves and looking in the mirror and not liking what we see, of putting on clothes that we hate. All of that goes away when you get to goal. When you get to goal, you're then free to think about everything else you want to work on in your life, but weight loss is not one of them. And at that point, it's absolutely time to celebrate. I want to know what it is that you're celebrating. Let's share it on the air. Go to FatDag.com, click on Listen Now, send in your celebrations, your comments, your questions. I'll work them in as part of the show. I want you to email in your celebrations because I really want you to be proud of what you're doing. As you heard in the show tonight, the folks who wrote in, they're having amazing success. They are very proud of what they're doing. That pride is instrumental in carrying you to goal. When you get to goal, I want to hear it. Well, that's going to do it for this time. Remember that losing weight and getting healthy has nothing to do with luck. You have to remain disciplined and focused. Set your sights on your goal and go after it. I wish you good focus.